All right, let's dive right into another deep dive and journey into those kind of hidden corners of history, you know? You guys always want to uncover these stories, these figures that have left us with more questions than answers.
Yeah, and we've got a fascinating lineup today.
So today we're going to explore Jack the Ripper.
Always a classic.
Oh, for sure, Nikola Tesla.
A genius, but a bit of an enigma.
Definitely. Albert Einstein, D.B. Cooper.
Now that's a story.
Oh, yeah, the Black Dahlia.
A case that still chills you to the bone.
True. The Babushka Lady and the Zodiac Killer.
Each one a puzzle that continues to intrigue us.
Yeah, get ready for some serious twists and turns as we sort of unravel their tales.
Absolutely. What I think is so fascinating is how these figures, they represent such a wide range of human experience, right? You've got the darkest depths of criminal minds to like the brilliance of scientific innovation, but somehow they all share this common thread of mystery.
This puzzle that just keeps drawing us in.
E-
Okay, so let's start with a classic case that has, like, haunted imaginations for over a century, right?
Yeah, got to.
Jack the Ripper. Picture London's Whitechapel district,
Oh, yeah.
late 1800s, right? Fog, gaslight. You can almost feel this sense of dread in the air. And it's here, this shadowy figure, Jack the Ripper, he stalked the night, leaving behind this trail of terror and unsolved murders.
It's the brutality that gets me. At least 5 women, all prostitutes, fell victim to this elusive killer. The precision of the attacks, the mutilations. I mean, it shocked even most, seasoned investigators. I can't even imagine the fear that must have gripped the city as the body count just kept rising and the killer remained out there.
It's wild to think that after all this time, countless investigations, theories, Jack the Ripper was never caught.
Never.
His identity, it remains a total mystery.
Fueling endless speculation.
Oh, yeah. Was he a doctor with a fascination with anatomy?
Maybe.
A royal family member?
Trying to cover up a scandal.
I mean, who knows? But the lack of a definitive answer, I think, has only added to the legend, right? It's transformed him into this symbol of the darkness that can lurk, even in the heart of what we consider civilization.
It's interesting. Jack the Ripper's reign of terror also kind of reveals these social anxieties of Victorian England.
In what way?
Well, the case, it exposed the harsh realities of poverty, of prostitution in London's East End, a world that the upper classes often just ignored.
Right.
And it showed the limitations of forensic science at the time.
Like trying to solve a crime with basically no tools, right? No DNA, no fingerprinting.
Exactly. It really makes you appreciate how far we've come. It's a testament to the power of mystery. I mean, a case from the 19th century, and we're still talking about it today.
Still grips our imagination.
Totally.
Okay, so from the shadows of London, let's shift gears and dive into the world of Nikola Tesla. This brilliant inventor and engineer, he had a huge impact on the modern world. But his life, oh man, full of controversy and intrigue.
Oh, absolutely. Tesla's contributions, I mean, they're undeniable. Alternating current electricity, wireless communication. He was a true visionary, always pushing the boundaries. But he was also a bit eccentric.
That's putting it mildly. I mean, the guy claimed to have invented a death ray, for crying out loud.
Right, and he envisioned a future where electricity could be beamed wirelessly across the globe. Now, these ideas, they might have seemed out there at the time,
To say the least.
but they reflect the anxieties, the aspirations of a world on the cusp of a technological revolution.
Yeah, it's like his mind was just operating on a different level. He saw possibilities that most people couldn't even comprehend.
I think that's what makes him so fascinating. He was this bridge between the world we knew and a future we could only imagine.
And then there's the whole mystery surrounding his death in 1943.
Yeah, don't forget that.
Died in relative obscurity, and the U.S. government, they swooped in and seized all his research, all his papers. What were they hoping to find? Was Tesla on the verge of some breakthrough that could have, I don't know, changed the course of history?
It's a question that has fueled countless conspiracy theories.
Oh, for sure. It's like the government's actions, they just added fuel to that fire.
Absolutely, and it highlights the tension that sometimes exists between scientific innovation and national security, especially in times of, war and global instability.
Right, right. It makes you wonder, was Tesla a misunderstood genius? Like, were his ideas just too advanced for his time? Or did his research actually pose a legitimate threat? I mean, these questions, they still spark debate today.
They do, and I don't think we'll ever have definitive answers.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. Albert Einstein, mysterious. Really, he's like the definition of scientific brilliance.
Right, a household name, synonymous with genius. But, even Einstein's life has its share of intrigue.
Oh yeah, like, what about the whole incident with his brain? After he died, the pathologist who performed the autopsy, he took Einstein's brain without permission.
Can you believe that? tried to unlock the secrets of his extraordinary intelligence.
Like it's a scene straight out of a movie, right?
Totally. And for decades, scientists, they studied Einstein's brain, examining its structure, its weight, you name it.
And what'd they find?
Well, the results were surprisingly inconclusive. It seems the essence of genius, that spark of creativity, it just defies explanation, even under the most intense scientific scrutiny.
So even the most brilliant minds, they hold on to their secrets. Makes you wonder what other mysteries might be hidden out there just waiting to be discovered. And just as importantly, what secrets might always stay beyond our grasp.
That's the beauty of it, isn't it? The unknown keeps us searching, keeps us curious.
Exactly.
And that's what drives us to keep exploring history.
It's a constant process, right, of piecing things together, dealing with ambiguity, and sometimes accepting that some questions might never have clear-cut answers.
And that's okay. Sometimes the journey is more important than the destination.
All right, get ready for a wild ride. Next up, D.B. Cooper, the man, the myth, the legend, the audacity, the cunning. He's become an icon in the world of unsolved crimes. So buckle up as we dive into the mystery of the hijacking that captivated a nation.
Oh, this is a good one. So picture this. 1971, a guy using the name Dan Cooper hijacks a Boeing 727, gets $200,000 in ransom, and then, mid-flight, he just parachutes out of the plane and vanishes. Gone. Poof.
Into thin air. I mean, can you believe the guts it took to pull it off? I mean, meticulously planning this whole heist, disappearing without a trace. It's like something you'd see in a movie.
It is, isn't it? And here's the thing. The FBI, they've investigated this case for years, and still, D.B. Cooper's real identity, what happened to him, is all a big question mark.
The ultimate unsolved mystery. I mean, did he even survive the jump? Did he, like, land safely somewhere, change his name, and live off that loot? Or did he, did something go wrong and his body's out there somewhere lost forever?
It's a question that has haunted investigators for decades.
Theories are all over the place, right? Some folks think he was a pro skydiver. Others think he was just some amateur who bit off more than he could chew. I even heard a theory that he was a disgruntled airline employee, someone who knew the system inside and out.
Oh yeah, there are all sorts of theories floating around, and the wildest part is, new leads, new information, it still pops up even after all these years.
D.B. Cooper, he's like a ghost story, a legend that refuses to die.
It's like he tapped into this fascination we have with the unknown, right? The idea that someone could just outsmart everyone and get away with something so daring.
And disappear completely.
Exactly. It makes you think about identity, about reinventing, the allure of escaping your past and starting fresh. I mean, who hasn't thought about just disappearing sometimes?
Speaking of figures shrouded in mystery and, well, tragedy, let's turn our attention to one of the most significant events in modern history, the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. And within that event, there's another enigma, a woman who has become known as the Babushka Lady.
Yeah, she's a real head-scratcher. So imagine, it's November 22nd, 1963, the motorcade with President Kennedy is moving through Dallas, and suddenly, chaos erupts. Shots ring out, and the world changes forever. In the midst of all that confusion, all that horror, this woman wearing a headscarf, she gets the nickname Babushka Lady. Because of it, she's seen in a ton of photos and films from that day. And she appears to be filming the entire sequence of events leading up to the assassination.
It's almost like she knew something was going to happen, right? Like she was there for a reason. What did she see? What did her camera capture? Could that footage hold, like, crucial evidence, something that could change our understanding of this pivotal moment in history?
We may never know. Despite all the efforts to track her down, the Babushka Lady's true identity remains a mystery. She never came forward, and no one ever found that footage.
It's almost like she vanished into thin air, just like D.B. Cooper.
The parallels are definitely there. And of course, that missing footage, it's fueled so many conspiracy theories, adding yet another layer of intrigue to an already complicated and controversial event. Did she have information that could challenge the official narrative? Or was she just a bystander who happened to capture a horrific moment in history?
Another question that's likely to remain unanswered. It's a haunting reminder that even in this age of smartphones and constant documentation, some mysteries will just never be fully solved. Some stories will always have missing pieces.
And that's part of what makes history so captivating. It's a puzzle we're constantly trying to put together, knowing that some pieces might be lost forever.
Okay, so from the weight of a presidential assassination, let's shift our focus to a figure who terrorized Northern California.
Oh, you talk about the Zodiac Killer.
The one and only. The late 1960s, early 70s, this elusive figure claimed responsibility for a string of murders. And to this day, it remains one of the most infamous, unsolved serial killer cases in American history.
It's a case that really gets under your skin. Like Jack the Ripper, the Zodiac Killer, had this aura of mystery and terror around him. He toyed with the authorities, sending cryptic letters and ciphers to newspapers, bragging about his crimes, threatening even more violence. Can you imagine living in the Bay Area back then, knowing this guy was out there, sending these chilling messages?
And those letters, man, they were like puzzles within puzzles, filled with bizarre symbols, codes, all this cryptic stuff. It was like he was playing a deadly game with the police and the public, reveling in all the attention and fear he was generating.
He definitely seemed to thrive on that attention, and despite years of investigation, countless man-hours poured into deciphering those codes, the Zodiac Killer's true identity, it's still a big fat question mark.
Unbelievable. I mean, they cracked some of the codes, but they never led to a solid suspect. Did he die? Was he arrested for something else and just stopped killing? Is he still out there somewhere, just, blending in, living a normal life?
It's a chilling thought, isn't it? The possibility that he could still be out there, and it just adds to the fascination, the intrigue that surrounds this case.
The Zodiac case, it's become a cultural phenomenon. I mean, books, movies, countless armchair detectives all trying to crack the codes, uncover his identity. Why do you think we're so drawn to these unsolved mysteries?
I think at our core, we're all driven by this need to understand, to find order in a world that can often feel chaotic and unpredictable. These cases, they challenge us, right? They force us to think critically, sift through the evidence, and sometimes just accept that we may never have all the answers.
It's about facing the unknown, the things we cannot control.
Exactly. And maybe on a deeper level, these mysteries tap into our primal fears, reminding us that there are still dark corners of the human psyche that we may never fully comprehend. There are still monsters lurking in the shadows.
Okay, so we've been talking about these big, iconic mysteries, the ones that have captured the public imagination for generations. But what about those smaller, more everyday enigmas that history throws at us? The ones that might not make headlines, but still make you wonder.
Oh, I love those. History is full of those micro mysteries, events, circumstances that might not be global sensations, but still spark curiosity and debate. And sometimes these smaller puzzles can reveal a lot about broader historical trends, about how society was changing, even about the lives of everyday people.
Think about it, right? You find an old diary with these cryptic entries, or you stumble upon some strange artifact that doesn't seem to belong, and it just makes you want to know more. What's the story behind this? Who were these people?
It's like history's whispering secrets to us through these forgotten objects, these forgotten stories. And it invites us to become detectives in our own right, to piece together the fragments of the past and try to make sense of it all.
And who knows what we might find? It's like a treasure hunt. But instead of gold, we're searching for knowledge, for understanding.
And that's what makes it so exciting. You never know what you might uncover. Maybe the real joy isn't about finding all the answers, but about the journey itself, the thrill of the chase, the realization that history is this living, breathing thing that's always evolving, always changing.
And always surprising us.
Absolutely.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today. Mysteries spanning centuries, continents, everything from the foggy streets of London to those sunny California skies. We've delved into the minds of criminals, explored the world of scientific genius, and encountered figures who've left this undeniable mark on history, whether through their actions, their ideas, or simply the mysteries that surround them.
It's amazing how these seemingly disparate figures, these stories from different times and places, can all weave together to create this tapestry of human experience. It's a reminder that we're all connected, that history is not just something that happened in the past, but something that's still unfolding, still shaping the world we live in today.
As we wrap up our dive into these historical enigmas, I want to leave you with this. Embrace the mystery. Don't be afraid to ask questions, to challenge what you think, to dig deeper into the stories that grab your attention. It's in those moments, right, of curiosity and questioning and exploration that we truly connect with the past and discover its power to teach and inspire and to remind us that the journey's just as important as the destination.
That's a great way to put it. These mysteries, they really highlight that history isn't some static, closed book. It's an ongoing narrative with twists and turns, revelations and mysteries just waiting to be explored. And maybe that's the most exciting part of it all.
I think so. The beauty isn't just in uncovering the answers, but in that process of searching for them. The journey.
It's like we all become these history detectives, sifting through clues and weighing evidence, piecing together the fragments.
And as we do that, we not only learn about those who came before us, but we gain a deeper understanding of ourselves, I think.
I agree. Our fascination with these mysteries, it shows this deep human need to make sense of the world, to find meaning in all the chaos, and to connect with the human story across time.
It's like these historical enigmas, they invite us to become part of the conversation, to offer our own interpretations and speculate on the what-ifs, and really contribute to this search for understanding.
Exactly. History is not some passive thing. It's about actively engaging with the past, thinking critically, questioning assumptions, and being open to new perspective.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into these mysteries, I hope you're leaving with that feeling of curiosity, a desire to explore the hidden parts of history, and a willingness to embrace the unknown.
It's been amazing exploring these figures with you, and I hope it's inspired you to keep digging into the shadows of the past.
Because who knows what other secrets, what other stories, what other mysteries are still out there waiting to be discovered.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Remember, the past is never truly in the past. It's always with us, shaping our present and influencing our future.
Keep those minds curious and stay intrigued.